Okay, this is my Chapter 3 review from the Curriculum and Instruction by Mary Connolly. The key points that I took from it was how to develop effective health education curriculum. First and foremost, what do I want my students to be able to know and demonstrate when they leave their school-age years? Uh, when doing this, it's always important to keep the destination in mind and then decide how we're going to get there. Um, The next thing I learned was that knowledge is not enough. We need to teach our students skills. Show me how to do something. So there's a lot of research out there that says that giving them content knowledge and having them regurgitate it does not affect change, which is really what we want to them to change their health enhancing behaviors. And then finally, there are several characteristics of an effective health educator, including quality professional development being one of the most important. Okay. When writing curriculum, there's a couple key components. Making sure you're aligning with the National Health Education Standards. They kind of provide a framework as far as what skills we want our students to acquire. Using data either from CDC, the Youth Risk Behavioral Surveys. I'm excited to get those back from our students this year. What your district and department goals are, and other things like we use our school-wide positive behavior data. What kind of behaviors are we seeing in our own school community? What are some effective teaching practices? We know that teachers are one of the most huge tools that are effective in student learning. And then finally, what skills assessment and instruction can we use to get there? So, the first step in this whole process would be mapping it out. This is one of the huge tasks to take on as a department. Collaborating with each other, what topics are covered across the grade span, and then what topics are covered pre-K to 12, and then matching them with the performance indicators from the National Health Education Standards. Standard 1 is the actual performance indicators. Standard 2 through 8 are the actual skills that are listed there, analyzing influences, assessing information, and so on. So after you've done that, you want to then start to create your teacher units. Some essential questions for creating teacher units is what do I want my students to know and be able to do? How will I know they have achieved that? What kind of instruction can I use to get them there? And then always reflecting and looking back as to what could I do better, what didn't work well, things like that. The other big thing that I took from this is that, and we found this as a department, it is a huge mindset change. Our pedagogy early on was that units were based off a topic, and you taught alcohol and drug education, but that's not necessarily true nor effective. Units should be on a skill and then taught through several different topics. For example, I could teach decision making through alcohol and tobacco, nutrition, physical activity, through all of those. So one skill can be taught through several different topics. Then Mary goes into these are actually put out by the CDC, characteristics of effective health education. I like that she actually gave specific examples of how you could incorporate these, or what did these characteristics actually look like in health classrooms. So some of them, again, first, we want behavioral outcomes. It's not the content, it's the skill. You want to use current research, okay? Targeting values, again, using your own data from whatever school district you're from. Again, we use our school-wide positive and our youth risk behavior. How can we help the students to analyze their own risks, okay, so that it feels real and relevant to them? What social pressures and influences, what's going on in the media, what's going on in your community that would influence different behaviors? That's why another reason why health education is constantly changing. Those things are constantly changing. Building personal and social competencies, making our students feel good and confident about the skills as like analyzing and communicating and decision making, so they can actually make better decisions, provide knowledge, uh, accurate content knowledge that is real and relevant to them, personalized so that they can using it student-centered, engaging the students, different types of teaching styles, cooperative learning, problem solving, so on and so forth. And then finally, professional development. She talks a lot about providing quality professional development that is yearly, is ongoing, is bought in by administration. And I think that's a really hard thing in districts because of cost to do. So one of the things I want to take back and look at is how can we as a department, whether it be every department meeting, somebody bring one of their best practices, something that's worked for them. How can we do this in a cost-effective way in our own department? So those are a couple key things. I realize that I have to talk fast in this because you're limited on the amount of time you get to do a Screencastify. So that is my review and the highlights that I took from chapter 3.